Alright, so this is the same picture from before. Brett turn 2, and actually the last picture I don't think was accurate. This one shows my men-at-arms. I turned them. So if my if I don't win combat here and he charges into me with his dragon and beats me, his dragon should run into those men-at-arms, and I'll either try to hold up with them and get a rear charge with my general, or I'll flee with them and be able to front charge with my Grail Knights. And I'm not liking the Grail Knights in that because he can challenge and make it to where I really can't hurt him. So I'm really just trying to hold that dragon up so my general can get in there. And again, that's just assuming that I don't break those Phoenix Guard. So couldn't believe it. His guys with Always Strike First, Strength 4, killed 3 knights, which I thought was just crazy. So that wasn't ideal, because I believe I won combat, but he easily passed his test. So I'm going to be in trouble. I think I killed 4 of them. And this just is showing High Elf turn 3. Basically, my Pegasus Knights charged the bolt thrower on the right. They fled. I ended at the bolt thrower and then did an overrun and chased him off the board. So he brought his turned his spearmen around to kind of deal with my Pegasus Knights, I'm assuming. High Elf turn 3, we're still locked in combat, so his Lord and the Dragon gets a flank charge into my Knights Errant, and I'm thinking I'm in a lot of trouble. That Star Dragon is nasty. I think it gets 6 attacks, Strength 7, Weapon Skill 7. It has, I believe, 7 or 8 wounds. I mean, it's just crazy. And of course, he's got a High Elf Lord on there. Always Strike First, Strength 5. So this combat right here, this round, I'm thinking the game's going to hinge on that. If I can have some armor or Mord saves and my general's leadership and the BSB rerolls, I just need that unit to stay so my general can get in there. That's what I'm thinking. So Swordmasters chased my fast cav, and I fled and rolled like a 3, so he caught me. But you can see that unit's getting smaller and smaller. He turned his bowman around. He's just taking everybody shooting at my Pegasus Knights. And here I got lucky. You can see he rushed in there with his dragon, and he only got 2. His Lord, with 4 attacks, the whole game long, never did a single wound on anybody. Never. 4 attacks, weapon skills 7, I think, strength 5, never did a single wound. The dragon with 6 attacks only had 2 wounds go through, which I felt pretty lucky. So I think I killed 3 more Phoenix Guard with all my static combat res. I broke the Phoenix Guard and chased him down. However, the unit of Knights Errant with only 4 guys left is still locked in combat with that dragon. So I'm feeling very lucky because now my general has a chance to go in there. I'll issue a challenge, and so those Knights Errant are protected, and yet they offer me a little bit of combat res. What I should have done is turn that unit, because I won combat, and so I can execute a turn, and that way he wouldn't have a flank on me. And I just didn't think of doing it, so that was kind of a mistake. He had turned everything to shoot at my Pegasus Knights, and he shot at my Pegasus Knights, so they're all dead. So Brett turn 3, I take my general, I get killing blow on large targets, so I charge into there hoping to get a killing blow on that dragon. Take the big block that just chased down the Phoenix Guard and charge the bolt thrower on the hill. And then I made a huge, huge mistake, and I took my big block of Knights of the Realm and swung around the hill, because I didn't want to go on the hill and be a target for his 1 bolt thrower. And other than that, I don't know what I was thinking. I should have lined up to be able to charge the mage and or the spearman and kept that BSB near my troops. I have no idea what I was thinking. I have my Grail Knights in the background for a couple reasons. One, I don't see me getting anywhere else on the board to be able to hurt anybody. So at least here I might be able to countercharge the dragon should he win combat and come this way. Which, whatever. I'm not sure. They weren't, basically at this point I'm just saving the unit. So I take my bowman and enter the building, because I think I'm not going to be able to avoid combat very much longer, and I like what I can do with the building. So I enter it and shoot out of it, don't do a whole lot. The in the challenge, of course, the High Elf Lord whiffs all his attacks. The dragon targets his attacks at my Pegasus, Royal Pegasus, and kills it out from underneath me. And I'm okay with that because now I don't have a magical sword or a shield, so my general's rerollable armor save actually gets one better with the hand weapon shield bonus. But he still won combat, and my Knights Errant broke. So my general's still locked in with that dragon, so at least the dragon can't fly around terrorizing me. But yeah, lost those Knights Errant, and they failed to rally, so they ran off the board. Brett turn 3. So when I hit that bolt thrower, I realized that unit of spearmen was going to be able to flank charge me, so I decided to overrun, hoping I could get off the table, and I missed it by a couple inches. So now he's definitely going to get a flank charge into me. That's another mistake, because had I stayed where I was, which was just barely on that cliff area, had he charged me, I could have fled, easily gotten away, and then rallied later, instead of giving him, because now I can't flee or else I'll run off the board. So I realized that was another small mistake I made. Brett turn 3, I shoot at his Swordmasters once again, and now it's getting to the point where almost every time he's having to take a panic test. I think this time he didn't, he only lost 2, but pretty much every turn he's having to take a panic test with those guys. So High Elf turn 4, we've already seen that picture, don't know why I showed it again. There's a picture of his him getting the flank charge on me. His Swordmaster's turn, next time they're going to be able to assault the building. And High Elf turn 4, you can see with 10 attacks total, 4 from the Lord, strength 5, 6 from the Dragon, strength 7, he only gets 1 wound through to my general, which I'm getting pretty lucky there. But that yellow marker means he's got the Lore of Metal spell that gives me like -1 to hit and all that kind of stuff. So I can't do any wounds on it. I'm not getting killing blow. I'm just surviving. So at the end of the turn, he charges in. His spearman killed 1 of my Knights Errant, but I have outnumber and a banner. He has a flank and a banner. He won combat by 1, and I held. So we move to the next turn. Brett turn 4. I charge my men-at-arms in, knowing that my general's in a challenge, so the Dragon and Lord can't kill all my men-at-arms, but that gives me a static combat res of 5. Bring my Rail Knights up. Oh, at the bottom of the screen I did rally that unit. I didn't realize that. So I've got those Knights Errant at the bottom of the board who just rallied. Bring my BSB over. I'm within 12 inches of my general and of my men-at-arms, so I finally get the BSB benefit again. I take my Pegasus Knights over so I can start charging either the other bolt thrower or the bowman or whomever. And again, I shoot at his Swordmasters, and he's down to somewhere between 4 and 6 Swordmasters down there. So this was fantastic. So we're in the challenge, and his dragon gets 3 wounds on my general. And I already had 1 wound, so I was easily dead. But to his 3, I had static combat res of 5 because of my men-at-arms, and I broke him in combat and was not quite able to run him down. But those men-at-arms broke the Star Dragon with the High Elf Lord, which I thought was just beautiful. Had they run him down, I would have figured some way to create a trophy and put it on that model. That was just beautiful. So High Elf turn 5. The Swordmasters storm the building, so I flee, and so they just take the building. And I figure if my guys rally, then I've got them saved. It's only turn 5, but we thought it was 6. More importantly, this game had taken just forever, and the store was trying to get us out. So this was the last turn of the game. So my thought was on my turn I might be able to rally the bowmen, and if not, they weren't going to survive against those Swordmasters anyway. So that was my reason for getting the building. That way when he charged, all I had to do was exit the building, and he can't charge out of it. It would have bought me another couple turns of the Swordmasters never being in combat, which I thought was pretty clever. I liked it. High Elf turn 5, he rallies his dragon. We're still locked in combat with the Spearmen and the Knights Errant. He has his 2 mages out there. His magic was largely ineffective, more because of bad luck. Kills a bunch of my peasants with his fire breath, which I don't know if you can rally and do that, but I hadn't thought about it, and it doesn't really matter. So on my last turn, my Pegasus Knights fail their terror test and run. That was some bad luck. My BSB unit charges the general. I lose the champion in a challenge, but had so much combat res that I broke him and then ran him down. So at that point, that's the game. That's my son's hand in there trying to be helpful. But I thought I crushed him because he had nothing left on the board. One of his mages I killed that turn. But the thing is, he didn't have much to start the game with. But he entered the game because I killed his lord and his dragon. It was a solid victory for the Bretonnians. I don't think it was a massacre. Had we played another turn, I might have been able to get a massacre, but I don't know, and it doesn't really matter. Anyway, it was a fun game. It was a fun little challenge trying to take out that dragon. I love that I did it through combat res with my men-at-arms contributing, and my monster killer general never able to do it. So anyway, solid victory for the Bretonnians. Hope you enjoyed it.